Welcome, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. My name is Roman Jacques. I am a Flutter GDE lead organizer at GDG Lawrence and Northeast Mentor. Just wanted to welcome everybody to the third session of our GDG Lawrence Flutter Dev Camp 2022 Web Edition. We're focused on web. We've had, this is our third session. We've had amazing sessions with you guys, interactions, conversations, and especially already we've seen the capabilities of Flutter Web by all of you. You guys have been publishing great apps, giving us great feedback, and we're ready to serve that and to also share your creations with the whole world. So thank you, everybody, for joining. You guys are in for a treat. This is going to be a special session. We hope you enjoy it. Let's proceed. So again, like I mentioned, as always, as a recap, this is just a 4-part Flutter event series. We're focusing on the Flutter Web because if Flutter Web gives you the lowest barrier to entry when it comes to becoming a Flutter developer. Why? Because it allows you to leverage the power of Flutter, get a taste of its power, and actually then you can use a platform such as the web to deploy your Flutter creations. We're in this series, we're focusing on Flutter Web and deploying to Firebase Hosting. Some of you may have been having issues. I know a lot, and we're going to be helping you out throughout your journey. And that's exactly what this session is for. This session is for you, for us to help you out and to empower you in becoming Flutter Web published Flutter Web developers. Again, this is the third session. Like I mentioned, we've had already 2 sessions successfully, amazing turnout. I see a lot of people already again, publishing great applications, doing a lot of good stuff. So kudos to you. You are the star of this show, and we can't be more thankful enough from you guys to be part of this session. So let's, this is again our third session, and we're going to be focusing now on taking your Flutter Web application to the next level, making it like consume data from the outside and whatnot. Of course, you can build simple applications, but now you can take your applications to the next level. And Kevin is going to speak to that in just a minute. This is our instructors and facilitators. So it's me, Roman, Flutter GDE. We have Lionel as an organizer, and Kevin, not only the organizer, he will be today's keynote speaker. He will be speaking about, and he will be leading most of the session. So thank you again, Kevin, for providing your time to us. But again, like I said, this is no easy feat. We need to contribute, and we need to have the support of other communities. And we couldn't thank Linda enough to be always part of the conversation, being part of these events and providing their support, as well as the folks from GDG Boston Android with Elizabeth bringing their community. So thank you to both of you. Linda, would you like to say anything? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot, and it's so difficult to come on the stage. Thank you so much for putting all this series together, you, Kevin, Lion, and inviting us, me and Elizabeth, to be part of it and share with our communities. I know for sure that we have a lot of people that like your sessions. That's why I'm teaming up. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much for your words. So again, we can't thank you enough for joining these sessions and bringing your community along. So make sure now, as the next step, make sure that you join the Slack channel. That is how we, as as the moderators and as your facilitators, we can help you out better. We've seen the power of leveraging the Slack channel to build this community. We've been helping people out. We've been assisting people off hours. I've interacted with a few of you already. So thank you for sticking in the sticking with us, accompanying us in our journey, being on the Slack channel, asking questions, helping each other out. That is the best thing. We help each other out because we want to learn as a community. So please join the Flutter channel. I'm going to be sharing these these slides. Actually, I'm going to be dropping now the link to this slide so that everybody can have access to it. Let me just copy the link. Yeah, I forgot to provide that to the team. Apologize for that. So let me just drop there's a Slack channel. Thank you, Linda. And these are the slides for today. So make sure that you join the Slack channel, you see these slides, and then you get all the resources that we have for you. Again, the goal of the series, like I mentioned, actually, I just wanted to mention the YouTube channel. All these sessions are recorded, and right after the session, we publish them so that then you can see them recorded. Now, the benefit of being live is this thing, the community aspect of it, asking questions to the organizers and to us, the facilitators, and of course, being present for the raffles and all of that. So make sure that you can also watch these sessions later. But the benefit of being here is that you're going to win prizes, get the raffles, get in touch with us, and building this community. So thank you very much. Again, the goal of the series, like I mentioned, is to help you become a Flutter web developer and to allow you to publish your creations to the outside world. So we're using Firebase Hosting as the capabilities for us to deliver that your creations, your Flutter web projects, so that you can have them out there in a publicly available website powered by the Google Cloud. You're going to have your custom URL. It's going to be secure by default because it has HTTPS. And you can set up your own Firebase project, which you can use for other things more than just Firebase hosting. Is such an amazing feature. So take advantage of that, everybody. And of course, if you attend the 4 sessions, you're going to get a certificate of completion. I see a lot of people already on their way to get a certificate of completion from GDG Lawrence as a token of our appreciation for you joining our series, learning about Flutter Web and all of that. You're going to get also Flutter swag. I've been raffling in every session one of these t-shirts. Some of you are already getting it. I know some of you, again, you might be outside of the US. It may take a little bit to get to you, but your price is arriving. So stay tuned. We're going to be raffling another one today. So yes, stay tuned so that we can do that later. And of course, a chance to enter a raffle. So we're going to be discussing that in just a minute. And that's one of the surprises for today. So again, submit your Flutter web application. This is the form that you need to follow. Actually, let me just do. Actually, I think we can provide that form in the link. If not, I can just drop it for you guys in a minute. But make sure that in order for you to receive the certificate of completion, we've kind of changed things a little bit. We want to make sure that you complete at least the remaining sessions, today's and then next week's, and you submit a simple Flutter web app, something that we can show, that you can showcase for you, and that qualifies you for you to get not only the certificate of completion, but also to to get into the raffles and all of that. So please provide us with your information, your email, your full name, and the link of your published web application in Firebase Hosting, and that's it. You make the cut. That's it. So thank you very much, everybody, for contributing and also being awesome as you guys have been with that. So I think I already gave a sneak peek of what the surprise was, because the surprise is that officially Flutter Flow has become the official sponsor for this series. They've seen the amazing response that this series has had in the community. They took notice, and now they've come on board to being the sponsors of this session right here. So Flutter Flow is a web-based IDE for you to build rapid prototypes in Flutter. Let's say if you don't want to follow the traditional way of just hard coding and doing the Flutter application from scratch, Flutter Flow will allow you to build Flutter applications really fast, in a fraction of the time that you would have done it if you do it hard coded. But there are so many other benefits, because you can connect it to Firebase, to your Firebase project. You can have authentication connected to other things, build very cool UIs, and they've become the official sponsor of the Flutter Dev Camp. I'm going to show you what we have in store for you as far as Flutter Flow goes. So Flutter Flow, as our sponsor, they're going to be providing 1 6-month premium access account, 6 months of the full version of Flutter Flow as a premium. So imagine the things that you can do with Flutter Flow. It's amazing. So we're going to pick 5 people, because we're going to give 1 6-month premium access account, 4 1-month premium access account. All you have to do is just create a Flutter Flow account. So you go to flutterflow.io. I'm going to be providing the links in a minute, but keep submitting the web apps in the form, the same form that we're using. That is the form that we're going to use to collect your email and set you up with a 1 month or a 4-month premium access when we pick the winners in a raffle in the next session. So talk about me doing like clickbait and hooks and marketing strategies. So I'm making you join next session so that then is where we're going to announce the winners, and we're going to pick the winners of the premium account access to Flutter Flow. So please keep submitting your applications, because next session we're going to pick 5 lucky winners. You guys are going to get premium access to Flutter Flow. So we couldn't be more happy to welcome Flutter Flow as the sponsor of this series. So let me now show you a quick video on what Flutter Flow is so that you guys can see it. Let me just escape out of here. I'm going to just play a quick video that they've provided for us. Again, this is something that I cannot share at the moment, but I'm just going to play it for you right now from my machine and see if you can. It's a very quick introduction. I just wanted to show you real quick, what Flutter Flow is all about. So I'm just gonna go with like a basic introduction. Just give me a second, and I'm going to be sharing that right now. Just give me a minute. Here we go. So I'm just gonna share just a little bit of Flutter Flow, just a few minutes, so that you guys can see it. Let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Perfect. Yes, Alexander. Yes, you can definitely try this tool if you feel like you're more like the WYSIWYG type of person. You want to do fast prototyping. Flutter Flow is for you. So I'm going to play a little bit of Flutter Flow and share it with all of you. Let me turn up the volume a little bit.
After you sign up, you will be here on the screen, and you won't have any other projects if this is your first project. So obviously, you just click the Create Project. And here you've got your first option. So obviously you give it a name, and let's just make like a basketball app. And the 2 options you have are either to start with a template or just create your own blank one. Now, the great thing about these templates is when you hover over them, you can see what they come with. So you can see not only what the sort of theme is, right? And you can get an idea as like, oh, is this the kind of app that I'm making, right? But you can also see all the specific features. So on the Sniff Social one, we have 19 screens, we have Firebase, that's like our database. We have push notifications. You have all of these things. And so you can not only see like, is this the kind of app, but get more particular and more granular into the type of things that you want. But we're not going to start with a sample right here. We're just going to start out with a blank app right here. Okay, so next we've got this welcome screen. We've got our project name, our package name. You don't want to do anything with that unless you want to change your project name, but you just declared it, so you probably don't. And then we're given the option to set up Firebase. Now, Firebase gives us the option to have a database, to do some other things like authentication. So if we want users, and you could set that up now. We're not going to do this right now. We've got another video. If you want to set that up, we can go through that. But we're just going to click that off and go start building. Okay, so here we are, the interface. I know it might look complex, but it's not. We'll walk through every part of this. Okay, the first and most important thing is our UI builder. That's over here. That's the first thing that you see. And it's the most important because these are all of the things, what we call widgets, that your app will be made out of. These are just widgets. And what's a widget? Well, a widget is just any kind of thing. It's an encapsulated thing that you use to build your app. So text is a widget. Containers and other layout elements are widgets. If you scroll down here, you've got calendar widgets and you've got animation widgets. You've got just about everything you need to build an app. And that's how you compose your app. They're just a bunch of widgets. And you can scroll through here. You can search for them. You can Command F just like normal and find whatever widgets you want. Now, when you start a blank app, Flutter Flow gives you a couple of widgets already, and you can hover over here and see what they are, or you can come over here to your widget tree. And this is just the structure of your app. This just shows you all the widgets that are in your app. So now we've got a text widget, an app bar widget, a column widget. These are things that already come sort of preloaded in your app, and you can delete them if you want. So let's take our app bar and let's just delete it, right? Let's grab our column and just delete it. So now we've just got our home page and an empty screen.
I'm gonna stop it right there now. That was like a little bit of a teaser about Flutter Flow. Again, just wanted to say, if any of the Flutter Flow representatives are online, I just want to say thank you for your support and being part of this series. And again, please make sure that you create an account. I've provided already the link to flutterflow.io. Again, this is great for like quick prototyping. If you want to build a quick app, Flutter Flow is for you. So please make sure to create an account. It's very quick. Go to flutterflow.io, and then I provided the link there, appflutterflow.io/create an account. Make sure to create an account because it's free. And if you use the same email that you're submitting the Flutter Web App here in this series, then you enter the raffle automatically. Then we're gonna pick the 5 winners next week, and we're going to deliver those premium access to Flutter Flow to those lucky 5 winners. So thank you so much. Thank you, Flutter Flow, and thank you everybody for being part of this series. So let's continue. Again, at the end of the session, like I mentioned, you're going to be rocking an amazing Flutter Dev Camp t-shirt, just like this one. We're going to be raffling at the end of this series, just at the end of this specific session. Just make sure to provide your email and size when we pick you. We're going to pick only the folks who have been joining in this current session. If you, let's say, signed up, but then you didn't attend this one, sorry, you won't be able to get it. Only the people who are present until the end of this session will get a chance to get into the raffle. So good luck to everybody. We'll contact you for the shipping, and then we'll ship it right over to you. Again, continuing with the recap, this Flutter Dev Camp is to show you how to set up your environment, optimize for Flutter Web. Some people are having issues, but we've been able to help them. So whether you are on a Windows or a Mac environment, remember you can install Flutter, or even for Linux as well. We've also shown people how to install Visual Studio Code. So that is our preferred IDE. You can pick another one, but the preferred IDE for developing in Flutter is Visual Studio Code. So please go ahead and download it. These are the links. And in this whole series, we've been teaching you and showing you the tools on how to build your very own Flutter web applications using the following strategies. Today, we're going to be discussing how to consume publicly available RESTful APIs. We're also going to be showing you how to implement like state management in a very easy way. We've done a little bit of animations and building like UI layouts with ease. So you guys have seen it. And we're going to have a chance, of course, for everybody to showcase their applications as well. So thank you everybody for being a part of this. And of course, some of you have already created your Firebase projects, and you have already published those Flutter Web Apps. That's why you've submitted those. So let's see what you guys have already. We will definitely take a look at that in just a minute. Again, to facilitate these things, you need to have the Firebase CLI installed and all the tooling required so that you can do the deployment to Firebase Deploy. So we've shown that. These are the links are provided in the slides as well. You can definitely grab them from there. And again, just to mention one more time, Flutter and Firebase are the 2 technologies used in this series. Flutter for developing the UI, Firebase Hosting for deploying and publishing your Flutter web applications. So again, we also mentioned that Flutter Web is good for like app-centric experiences, progressive web apps, single-page applications, existing Flutter mobile applications that you want to migrate to the web. Those are good. That's what's good for. And it's not good for like blogs or SEO optimized HTML, document-centric web pages. But yeah, you can integrate Flutter Web into an existing web application right now via an iframe. Like that's a way to incorporate it, for example. And again, we also mentioned that you can leverage pretty much anything except, for example, like code that talks to the file system, although there are certain exceptions, tapping into the device's capabilities and whatnot. Because with Flutter Web Apps, you can actually do like local storage on the browser. And this actually kind of leveraging like some local stuff that you have, or like retrieving information about the underlying platform. These are a couple of the things that we've explained through the series as like the limitations of Flutter Web, but still Flutter Web is ready for production, is very mature, ready for your Flutter Web application that is highly interactive, highly engaging, and very attractive for your users. Great. So again, these are some examples like I've already shown. You can see them in the slides. And like this is the type of experience that we keep saying, no, this is not what Flutter is for. So just make sure that these type of experiences you say, no, Flutter is not for that. That you can use like traditional web development strategies for doing stuff like this. Again, you always keep in mind the responsiveness of web applications, making sure that you leverage the whole, let's say, real estate that you have. We've already explained this in previous sessions. We just wanted to reiterate some of that today as well, just making sure that you do have that in mind. And of course, taking advantage of the Lifecycle API, we're going to be explaining a little bit of that. Just make sure that you do leverage the Lifecycle API so that you don't get like a blank screen and you can do like a splash screen. You can also leverage the image decoder because it decodes images better in Flutter 3. So there are great improvements on Flutter 3. So today's focus, today only, we're going to be discussing how to consume data from public RESTful APIs or just from data outside of your Flutter web application and populate your UI with the received data. So Kevin is going to go through a very simple example, but we encourage you to go to the next level and build your applications on top of like web services and whatnot, so that you can enrich your application, make it much richer, more interactive, and bringing data from other sources. Again, next session, we're going to be actually discussing more about preparing your Flutter web application for prime time so that you can definitely publish it. You know, it has all the bells and whistles. We're going to be discussing a little bit about state management so that then you can bring everything full circle and build like very rich and robust Flutter web applications. Great. So now, without further ado, I think we've already spoken enough. We're going to do like a mini showcase. So whoever's ready to show anything for us, like if you're ready to show any progress that you can share or something that you're working on, this is your time. This is, the floor is yours. Just share the link, drop it in the chat if you want us to see your application, and then we can take a look, see how you've made progress. We'll also take a little bit of time helping some folks that have been having some issues with their applications and make it a little bit more interactive. How about that? So if you don't mind, again, you can start dropping your links in the chat. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if you just want me to take a look, we want us to take a look at what you've built so far. Let's do that. Let's take a look. I'm also going to be sharing also like the progress that I've made on mine, but I wanted to give your opportunity to all of you first. Great. So David, thank you so much for sharing your web app, which you actually use one of the designs that we proposed and provided here. So let's see what it looks like. So your COVID report, perfect. That looks amazing. This is pretty much very close to the design that we put together and we provided to everybody. And you went ahead and took this to the next level. This is what David created. So he created something called like the COVID report. It's like it's an application that would give you like the information about the recent, let's say, COVID reports around the world. And look how he built it. He built it as a Flutter web. He provided all the information in there, and he has, this looks pretty good. See, like you can do like embedded images in the background, information on top, pull resources from the outside. This looks amazing. I love the way that it looks, the way that it's coming out. You see how you were able to take advantage of the whole real estate. This is amazing. David, congratulations. You did an amazing job. You actually even exceeded everyone's expectations. You actually did it way better than I would have done it. So this is amazing. Thank you. Kudos to you. This is amazing. Are you, and let me see, you even added like some of the features that I was going to add. You actually went to the next level. Let's see. So you actually come on, man. You actually made this working. I was just going to keep this hard-coded. You actually made it that it works. So check this out, guys. This is actually took me by surprise. Look, so you can select the country, and then it populates with the data from that country. David, you took it way to the next level, man. This is amazing. This looks awesome. I love what you did here. The check symptoms, yeah, you can. That was something that I was gonna do, but I didn't finish it. But what you did in here is amazing. I love, the simplicity, the cleanliness of of your execution, how you actually made things fit and make it look really good. This is all in Flutter, guys. This is not any other framework that you've seen out there. This is developed in Flutter from scratch. So I love your execution. Thank you so much for sharing. This is an amazing work. So please, everybody, welcome me in giving kudos to David. Big round of applause for his execution. Thank you so much. You took it way to the next level, man. Way too much. Awesome. Next up is Alexander. So let's take a look at that. And you say try to reduce the browser width. So I think some people are also taking advantage of responsiveness. So let's take a look. So yes, there it is. And then he's already added like a couple of widgets. So I'm going to reduce the browser size, and then, oh, awesome. So you see, you're already taking advantage of the real estate and doing like responsiveness in the application. So this is awesome. So perfect. See, I can reduce it, and you see like these other widgets appearing, like showing like the date mode. I think, is this what you want me to try? Like flip this? Oh my God. This is amazing. This is amazing. Check this out, guys. You can flip like the mode, like the light mode or dark mode. This is amazing. Check this out, guys. Hey, this is so good. And you added a clock, so that's even better. Alexander, you took it way. Oh, I'm actually gonna copy your code because this is really cool, really cool. So I'm just clicking, flips from night to day mode. Perfect. And look, and he even did that. He even did like the day, like in the sky changes. This is so cool. I love this. I love what you guys have put together. This is the kind of experiences that are apt for Flutter Web. You guys are a living proof of that. Check this out. That is the stuff that we were actually expecting for people to see about Flutter Web, and the power, and the community is actually the protagonist of this. So Alexander, thank you so much. Let's give Alexander a round of applause and support him on his journey. Continue. The app is working. David said, yeah, that was amazing. I love what you did there. So congrats. Anybody else wants to share your link? So you can drop your link in there. Let's just take a look and let's see what you guys have. While I see more links, I'm going to share a little bit of the one that I was building. I think I already have it running. Let me see. This is the one. I think I have it on localhost 8081. Let me try this one. Oh, actually, I gotta start it all over again. But yes, like I wanted to share like the one that I've been the Flutter Dev Camp. No, actually 8082. That's the one. So let me try this port and let's see if this is still working. So it's the one that I started. Remember, like the Flutter Dev Camp is the same one. So remember this one. Also, I'm implementing some responsiveness in it. So again, not as cool as Alexander's or as David's, but it's getting there. So it's amazing. So take a look. It's just a very simple one. I added like some animations, some really cool interactions that I could do to make it very interactive. Now, let's say if you try to inspect it and take a look at the responsiveness of the application, you can see how when you change the responsiveness in here, for example, you see how things start arranging it themselves. Like if I start shrinking, you see things like becoming a little smaller, things arranging themselves, things becoming more fitted for that type of experience. And let's say if you shrink it all the way to like a mobile, look what I did. So like for mobile, I made it so that you don't scroll, so that you could just show it in one single page. And then now it's apt to be consumed in a mobile device. Then what I'm going to add is like options here is in the menu. You see that the logo is just a single logo because again, I want to take advantage of the real estate, the real estate. But if you expand it, you see now the logo becomes a little larger. So those are kind of like small strategies that you can implement as far as like responsiveness. You saw what Alexander did. He did amazing because you can actually even toggle your styles in your application, make it look really cool. Toggle the default mode, like the light mode versus dark mode, make it more appealing and even like helpful for users as far as like accessibility and the responsiveness of the application. So kudos to you guys. Any other links that you guys want to share? Remember, you guys have been sharing your stuff, but we want to again give you the opportunity to definitely share your creations with us. While I see, let me see, do I have any other links? Anybody else wants to share Let me show you also another application that I've been building, another web application, which is pretty cool, is kind of like near and dear to my heart, just to show you again more capabilities on Flutter Web, which again are amazing. You see like the cool things that the team has been creating, like what I'm just showing right now. So let me show you one more for you. Again, any other links that you guys want to share with us, please feel free to do so while I just do a Flutter build, Flutter run -d Chrome on this application. So I'm going to show you one application that I've been working on, and I'm going to be sharing the repo for this one, the same one that I've been doing the repo for this. So this repo is available so that you can take a look at the strategy that I follow to do like response applications. So you can follow that approach. There are many approaches, other people have different approaches, but this approach has worked for me. David, I don't know if you might want to share some of your tips as well, like what you did. The same thing with you, David, like your creations were amazing. This is the kind of experience that we wanted to share with everybody. So I'm going to also now share again one more application that I've been doing while I just wait for other folks to drop their links and whatnot. Also, what we're going to be doing before we let Kevin start is actually help out a couple of the folks in here. If you want to open up your share your screen, you're having some issues and you want to maybe us to help you with any issues. I know that I have a couple of folks that may want to open up their cameras and share your stuff. And if you're having an issue, we can help you out with that live. If you're up for it, again, this is kind of like, this is for you. This is exactly why we're holding these sessions and the benefit of joining live, because we can help you with an issue. We can coach you in any way and show you like how to build stuff. So this is let me show you this web app that I'm building. And I'm building this web application for my son. My son, he's a big fan of trains. I don't know if you guys have seen, again, this is a shameless plug to a very famous cartoon called like Thomas the Tank Engine. So he loves the trains, and he said, "Dad, I want you to build me like a engine builder. Like I want to create my own steam engines and trains and all of that." So I built this web application for him in Flutter Web. So check this out. Check what this application does. So this application, if I just go to create an engine, I have like two options: either create an engine or load an existing engine. If you click on create engine, you get this UI that takes you through a series of steps on how to build like a steam engine. So you first step, you pick a color. So let's say you pick the color of your engine, whether you want to like red or blue, green, like wood or like purple. His favorite color was purple. So I said, okay, let's add the purple. You go to the next step, and then you say, okay, what's the type of wheel that I want to have on my train? So you can pick the wheel like that. And then you can pick either from a type of wheel, like multi-spoke or 8-spoke wheel and stuff like that, something like that. Then you could go to the next step, and then you select the type of whistle. So if you want to do like a air whistle or a steamboat whistle or something like that, you could do something like that. Then you could go to the next step, and then you select the type of the chimney or like the smokestack. You can pick that, through a series of other smokestacks. You see, I'm taking you through a journey. You guys can't hear it, but there's sounds coming out of the train. Like if you do the whistle, let me see if it works here. See, like it doesn't work like right now because I have to hook up but it gives you like the sounds and all of that. It's pretty cool. So if you go to the fifth step, then you can add a number. Let's say you can add a number to your engine, and you can add a name, for example, Roman. And you see, like I'm taking you through like a journey on how to build like this engine. And then the last one is like you pick the face for the engine, and then you pick like from multiple faces available, and then you see like your engine is pretty much like built. Or you can just go back to a step and switch it back to either like any other of the previous colors, and you see how the application responds to all of that. This is the kind of experience that is built for like a Flutter web application. Very interactive, very engaging, very attractive, and then it immerses your users into the experience. So you see, like you can change other things, and you see how the application responds to multiple changes. That's exactly the kind of experience that you're looking for in a Flutter web application. So I'll be sharing something like, yeah. So yeah, the face. Yeah, you can do any one of those faces. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you see, it's a very cool experience. It's like for kids. It's just an application that I built for my son. He loves it. So these are again like the kind of experiences that you would expect from a Flutter web application, not like a like a Craigslist type of experience, but in an engaging type of experience. So perfect. Now that we're done with that, let me
Hey,
just
Roman, this is really cool. I really like it. I mean, my son also they enjoy the Thomas Train.
oh, the
when
Thomas
when
Trains.
they're
Yes.
younger. But yeah, this is cool. I think we should put out a challenge here, and adding the step number 7. So adding the step number 7, can we actually 3D print this thing? after
You could
finish
actually.
building?
I added the option of just print like what is it, saving it as an image. That's maybe the part that I forgot to show you, and then you can save it. But it'd be cool like to add something like, yeah, go ahead and print it. You see that you can also do from Flutter. So you see, it's so many things that you can do from Flutter. It's such an amazing platform to do. So anybody else wants to show their creations? Otherwise, I just wanted to just give a few folks again who are having issues, who want us like in there in just like maybe in the next 15-20 minutes, just to see if anybody wants to open up their cameras or share their screen if you're having an issue. I think David, you wanted us to show you like how to do the splash screen on your Flutter web application. Would you like to share your screen, or you want us to help you out with that? I'll actually open up your mic just to see if you want to do that. Just wanted to see if you wanted to if you wanted to share your screen. Yes. Okay. You have a. Okay. Okay. Let me bring you up. Give me 1 second. So let's. So what I'm gonna do. Let me just. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I will. Let me. So I know that you were sharing like some information. You were sharing some issues that you were having with with your with that. Let me. Got it. So I just wanted to make sure that we got you. Yeah, just give me a second, guys. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that. Okay, so. Okay, do you want to? Okay, so David, you want to try? So I'll give you the David Adebayo. So you want us to bring you up? All I have to do is give you presenter mode on if you want to share, like if you're having an issue, so that we can do it. And then maybe we can take a look at that. So I gave you presenter capabilities to see if you can then share your screen, and then we can help you out, as a group, and then you can share. We can definitely do that. I'll stop sharing, and then if you want to share with us. And then for the other David, you're having an issue with the splash screen. I wanted to see if the David one. Let's see if he can share his screens. Otherwise, I'll bring the other David up. David Orijobi, like if you were having an issue with the splash screen, maybe we can help you out with that as well. Just drop it in the chat if you can share your screen. That way we can share. Oh, okay. So let me let's finish with the first David. David, would you like to share your screen, or if not, then we'll bring the other David until you're ready. Okay. So I'll bring the other David up. Just give me 1 second. Let me. Okay, you got it. Okay, perfect. Okay, you got it. So what is the issue that you're having? That way we can. So what are you showing right now? You can open up your mic and you can speak. You're using Lottie for like animations. That's what I can see here. But what is the issue that you're having right now? Oh, it says unable to find directory entry in the pub spec for the. Is that the issue that you're having? Oh, your mic is bad. Okay, got it. Perfect. Okay, so maybe you can type it out and we can speak it for you. So if your mic is bad, I just wanted to see what your issue was. If you're having an issue with the Lottie library, like to bring animations into it, if you want, then we can help you out offline while Kevin is working on the presentation. I can help you out offline. I'm sorry, off screen, and then I can help you out. Let's bring, but we'll definitely help you. Stay tuned there. We're gonna help you out. So I'm gonna bring you off, and I will add the other David, David Orejobi. I'm gonna add presenter mode for you. And then now the other David is going to share your screen. So hi David, how are you? And again, great job on the COVID application. You actually took it to the next level, way farther than I would have expected. So kudos to you, man. Thank you so much. Do you want to share your screen or open up your mic and say something?
Okay. Good morning, Roman.
Morning.
Okay. So I'm trying to splash screen and it is not working currently. I don't know why. So
Got it.
okay, I changed the image. So
Good.
now I have only the logo. So I want to this is where I'm calling the image. Okay, I'm
Perfect.
not Flutter is my first language, or my first framework, and that. So
Perfect.
basically, I don't know much about HTML and CSS, but this is what I'm doing. So I'm calling the image here. Then I'm kind of trying to. Then this is a CSS.
Got it.
Okay, so if I try to run the app, okay, it is not showing it. So let me try to run it.
Yeah, try to do like a hot reload so that you can get the stuff. So you may not be getting anything because, okay, got it. Did you okay, do it again. Do a whole hot restart. Exactly. So you do have a loading in there. You have like that loading. You added that
Yes. Yes, like I used Future Builder. Okay, yeah.
Oh, nice. Or you added a future builder at the beginning. Perfect. That's awesome. So let's
Yes.
do this. Let's do this. Let's focus only on the splash screen, on the first screen that you're going to do. So for those of you who don't know, you can definitely type into the lifecycle API of Flutter so that before your application loads, instead of having a blank screen at the beginning, you can tap into the mechanism of how Flutter loads your web application. You can tap into it and intercept it and then load like a splash screen at the beginning. What David was trying to do is create one image that completely filled the whole screen before then the Flutter web application loads. So let's start with your image. What you can do right now, just so that we can test the web application, do this real quick.
Okay.
So you see the script code that is below the script that is the script that actually loads your Flutter web application. Can you comment it out? Just
Okay.
comment it out. Like grab the whole script block and just like do a comment. You could do like if you're on a you're on a perfect. You comment it out. You already have the image being loaded. You're like centering it, right? Where's the CSS for this page?
Yeah, right.
Okay, you already have the CSS as well, and then you see the let's say the wrapper HTML of the Flutter web application is just one single file. It's just an index.html file, and then that index loads your application as a single page application. What David did, he added an image. Also, he had some CSS to apply to that HTML before his Flutter web application loads. So you are actually adding your application to the center. Can you add to the body the color of that? Actually, I can even send you the color because I think I have it somewhere here. But can you add the color of the background of the design that we sent? So I think it's like the pink color. Yeah, that color. If you could just grab that color and apply. I think I can send it to you. I don't know if you have it, but I can also paste it in here. Oh yeah, okay. So there you go. So grab the hex value exactly. Everything before the FF. There you go. Perfect. So just grab that add it to the background color, and then let's reload the application. You will only just see the HTML at the moment, just like the HTML content. So that's what we should be seeing. So what David is doing, again, just to explain to you, he's intercepting the Flutter web application before it loads, and then we're showing something on the wrapper HTML page. Then after it shows, the web application loads. So save this and now reload. Yeah, and then we should just see the HTML. If you open up the page, we should just see the background. So do it again. Start from the beginning. Remove the end slashes, because it's still, you see, it's still loading the application. So either do a hot restart, like a full reload of the application, so that it picks up these changes. Exactly. Mm-hmm. We're only going to be working on the, yeah, it's still loading the web application. So you want to, yeah. So do you want to stop the application one more time? Stop it. Don't do it in debug mode. Like kill it, stop it, and then load it one more time. Yeah, stop it, and don't run it in debug mode. We can just do it in regular mode. So let's not debug it. Just run it normally now, like Flutter run -d Chrome, or the way that you're running it here without debugging. Exactly. Yes, and for other folks that are having issues, yeah, we'll definitely help you out offline. We'll definitely be here to help you guys with your issues. We just wanted to make it a little bit more interactive before Kevin's session, just so that you can see that, again, people face these issues, but we are able to help them and help you out as a group. Great. So now if you show me the page now again.
Okay. I think it is still loading.
It's still loading?
Yes. Okay, I'm using Windows. My Windows is not that strong, so.
Oh, okay, no, that's totally fine. All I wanted to see was the page only, like before the Flutter web application loads. So but can you show the page right now when it loads for you?
Okay.
Okay, still, no, that's fine. So it's still loading. That's totally fine. But what we're trying to do here is just show the page. So the simplest way for you to tackle this is apply CSS to the whole index.html, apply a background color, and then you add the logo in the middle. After then the Flutter web application loads, everything gets kind of like wiped out, and then your application should be able to load. So after after Chrome launches, you should only see the logo in the center and that pinkish salmon color that we did in the background. So that's what you should be seeing after we load this. So you can keep it there. Then I'm gonna bring you off.
Okay.
But I would have loved for this to come up a little
taking
quicker.
time. It's taking time.
That's totally fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna work anyway. I'm gonna help you offline while Kevin is giving the presentation, so that we can keep moving along.
Okay.
But yeah, we should be able to fix that issue in no time. So hang in there. I'm gonna bring you off presentation and say again, thank you so much, David, for sharing. You see, we're here as a community to help each other out. And now we're gonna proceed with the second part of this session, which is now bringing your Flutter web applications to the next level, like consuming web APIs and whatnot. So Kevin is going to lead the second part of the session. Well, if you guys have any questions, I'll be moderating the chat and helping you guys out. Kevin, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. So I think David actually took the idea. I mean, you have the first idea about using COVID. So last night, as I was trying to research what I was supposed to do using the web API, so I basically went through a lot of Googling and trying to find out some open API I can use, and then I came across this one. I don't know if David is using the same API. So this one is a COVID-19 API. And the API that I'm using is basically display a list of states with the cases. So basically, you go in here. I'm gonna just try it out, and then I say all the cases since yesterday, and then I do execute. And basically, you just go to HTTPS, and this is the curl command line to fetch a page from HTTP page from the internet, and basically passing a parameter, all the cases, and in here basically it's displaying all the COVID information per state in a JSON kind of JSON format. So you can see that there's an array of JSON format. And this is California, then this is updated when it's updated.
Kevin, people are asking if you will share your screen so they can see what you are showing.
Oh, I thought I shared it already. Sorry.
We cannot see it, only as a feedback.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. I didn't share it. Is seeing a screen? Okay. Linda, can you see that my screen? I don't know it actually is sharing. Does anyone? Okay.
Yes, we can see it now. Sorry,
Right.
I went off the stage. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go cancel this. So this is the page where I found the API, and that is the API that I'm using. So when I'm going doing the research, so I'm gonna try it again. So I'm gonna execute this API, calling this API. So I'm passing a parameter here. So these are the cases. You can actually pass today's cases, dead inactive cases, and this is since yesterday. I just used the default. So this is the actual syntax that you're actually going to call using the HTTPS, URL to query the cases. I'm going to create an output, and then I'm going to do. So this is the JSON format that's going to return all the information about the code cases. So I'm going to execute, and here's all the array of JSON format with all the states, with Texas, California, Texas, and you can scroll all the way down, 50, I believe more than 52 states, and actually include some state I don't even know. I'm not sure the bottom of this. I don't even know. It's a Northern Marina Islands. It's a state, but anyway, so they're showing all of this. So this is my first step, trying to understand where I can find an API I can use. So next step is that, okay, now I know I have an API that I want to go to implement calling that API. So what am I supposed to do next? I went to the cookbook, and then in the cookbook section, Flutter has a cookbook. It's really nice cookbook about fetching data from the internet. And this is actually cool, they said, and give you the number of steps that you can actually follow through. The first thing you need to do is to include the HTTP package. And then you just basically use the package to make the network request. And then you convert the response, because the JSON response, into some kind of object, that object that you can actually use, and then fetch and display the data. And so that's basically the whole application. That what I'm going to do. They actually, in this cookbook, they gave you an example here, but I'm not going to go to all of that, and you can actually go find them. But basically, in this case, they're calling this JSON placeholder dot typical return an album one. So one, it means there's only one object returning. So in this case, they're returning an album with the user ID and then ID and the title of the album. And that's basically it. And this function basically converting the JSON into this objects. All right. So that's basically what it is. And I'm gonna show. I went to VS Code, and I did this, and then create a new Flutter project, and then they gave me the new project, and then in the project itself, there's right now the first thing I did was to put in the package, which is HTTP, and then packaged information, and you can actually find that packaged information from the pub.dev, and then you can find what version that you actually need to use. And then after that, and then basically I took all the basic example app from when you create the number counting app, and then as remove all the different other number counting app information, and I just changed the title here and there, and then I added the COVID state COVID classes to capture the information that I need to display into the app. And then I implement this function just similar to the one I just showed you in the cookbook. And just basically this function is converting the JSON into this state COVID object. Right? And then inside the state, the state my home this is the state, this is the stateless stateful object, not stateless, sorry, the stateful object, my home page, and then I have to implement the state classes inside the state class that I have a function which is called fetch COVID, and inside that function here you can see this is asynchronous call. So I just want to show you something else. And basically, an asynchronous call is the calling out into a worker thread, and then come back and then respond, basically giving a callback and notify you that something had done. So I'm just going to show you this, showing you this this sequence diagram. So what you're working on is the homepage widget state widgets. Inside homepage state widgets, we're making a call into HTTP, and then it's going to a separate thread. And after it's finished, and return the future, and then I'm using the filter builder to populate the information when I get the data back. So that basically we have to use a feature to capture the response back from the HTTP call. So inside there, basically just a list of items, and inside the build method, and we have the normal scaffolding that coming from the sample app. So we have the app bar, and basically the body inside the body, I have a center widgets, and then that basically capture. I'm using a filter builder. Filter builder is the widgets allow you to do the asynchronous call. The property features, basically I'm passing in the fetch COVID method, basically, up there, here in this method, and basically it executes asynchronous call. And once there's some data back, the builder property in this method is going to call back and check if I have a data, then I return all the data inside a data table. I don't know for those of you who may not be familiar with data tables, so this is actually nope. Click wrong. This is not the data. So this is the data table. So there's a this is really good widget of the week. And then most of the time that when I learn something new about widgets I don't know about, so I used to typically I go find information about widget of the week, and then they give you a short description what the widget is supposed to do. In this case, the widget table is basically display a information with the column and rows of data, and you can using in this format. So right now, in this case, this example show you the name, the age, and the role. So in the list format. So this is more than just a list view, but this will give you more information. It's a table view. So this is So this is just an example. You can follow through the code and try to understand how you populate the column, and then the row. So the reason I have to add a single child scroll view, because the table itself, there's no scrolling inside the table itself. I have a lot of data coming in, and so I need to be able to scroll up and down the screen with the data. That's why I added this scroll view, and then I set it to the scroll direction to vertical, and you can actually implement this horizontal scrolling as well by adding a second single child scroll view widget. In the column itself, the way that you set up the column is pretty straightforward. You just identify what column you want to display. So this is the column header. We have a state and cases and dead and active and the population of the state. So then just displaying that information. It's the first row in the table. And then create roles. Basically, it just return the data is basically a map, a list of all the objects, and then I basically implement for each object and implementing a data cell. So data will contain a data cell. The first one is state, and then the second one is case, and then the dead, and then active, and then the population.
Kevin, sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
Can you make the font? Can you make the font a little bit bigger?
Oh,
yeah, just
sorry. Where in plus, right?
Yeah, you could do like a command plus. Yeah, exactly. Or like on a Mac. If you're on a Mac, you could do like.
I messed up.
You could do one more point.
Better?
Do one more point. Let's see.
One more point.
Like one more zone. Let's see.
What?
So just look.
Is it better?
There. I think it looks good there.
Okay. You're welcome. Where was I? Oh yeah. So we are in the creating roles. The roles is basically contain all the information. So this is basically it. So I follow the step and I implement the widgets, and then I find some way to display the data. So I found the data table, which is a good way for me to actually. I didn't know about the data table, and then I went on, and I believe like this is where I found it. There's a gallery, so I went to the gallery, the gallery flutter.dev, and they showed the data table. I said, okay, this is something really cool. I mean, you can actually implement paging, in different pages. So you don't have to load everything at once. And just want to show you, there's a lot of information here that you can actually find all the different widgets that talk about the app bar, the banner, the bottom app bar, and the navigation bottom sheet. Anything you want to know about. And this website show you everything you need to know, and then show you the design. Material design is one of the design systems that from Google, and then also the Cupertino. I think Cupertino maybe Adobe. I forgot the name where it comes from, but anyway. And so let's try. I'm going to try to run the app. I'm going to run from home. It turns out that they're calling the HTTP API is very straightforward in Flutter. All you have to do is to include it in that HTTP package. You're taking time to launch it. The other thing that I wasn't, I mean, I was just learning like yourself, I found out how to use a feature builder for me to actually respond to asynchronous callback. And so this is basically the header is here. So I basically make the header bold. and then is all the rows of data. The other thing that I did was I used the international formatting, formatting the data display so to display easy read, for the numbers. And that is basically it. So this want to go back to show you the package that we're using for the international. Yeah, this is actually come from Flutter itself, that package. And then the way to use it is to, I think I'm not sure. I'm not in right. Okay. This is number format class and in Dart. And then we just basically tell it the US decimal pattern, and I didn't do anything else. I just use format with the number, with the integer, because these are all integer. And that's what is shown here. I think I'm done. Is there any question? Roman?
No, I just wanted. I'm monitoring the chat. The only issue that we had was like again with the font size bigger. That's it. Like, but other than that, I think you definitely explained well as far as like how to tap into a RESTful API. You also saw like I love like Swagger and like those type of tools to actually take a look at APIs. That was pretty good. So thank you so much. We just have one question right now. It says
how to solve the cross origin problem. I think this is a good question. I haven't run into that. Cross origin is actually happening with many different websites. You just need to know there's some. I don't exactly remember how it's address those kind of issues. Maybe Roman, you can share your thought on this one.
Yes. So the course issue the way that I solve it is on the server side. For example, like if my domain, or actually my RESTful API is not, for example, like remember, like your web application may be hosted in another domain from your web API. You're definitely gonna have a course issue, because course, that's what it means. Cross origin resource sharing, and then what it means is like you only browsers and like applications only allow applications to pull resources from the same domain. So then when you do that, solving a course issue, it depends on where your, let's say, your RESTful API is located. If it's located somewhere, a solution would be to actually, or depending on what type of technology you're building your API, the way that I do it is, for example, like in Node.js, you can enable CORS and say, for example, this particular domain can receive requests from this web application hosted at that domain. So you specify the domain where you're going to receive requests, or like people do it, they just open it up to the world and they enable CORS by saying that they accept, allow requests from all origins, and just put like a star. But I do it always on the server side of things as opposed to on the front end. Like Flutter usually doesn't have those like CORS issues that you do. You could definitely tackle those at the API level. Jose asks the question: can I get the link for the API you used?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely.
Provide that. I will also provide the link that David used, which are public APIs. I could actually give you all the public APIs. I think we provided that in the first slide, but we can drop it in here in the chat. There's a bunch of public APIs that you can use for your Flutter applications. Those were the public APIs that I used for the one that I started. This is the one. Let me just drop the link also in here in the chat. This is another one of a bunch of public APIs that you can use, available on GitHub, and you can access like stuff about finance, again, health, health data, stuff like that you can build web applications around, weather, stuff like that you can build like really cool stuff around, and you can do that. I like the one that Kevin has there that gives you like the swagger, like the description of the API and all that. It's pretty cool. So again, thank you Kevin for for your exposition and for, again, allowing us to see another way that you can enhance your Flutter web applications consuming public APIs. Okay, I just wanted to.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, just let me know if anyone interested in the code that I have. I can push it in my GitHub and share with everybody.
Great, thank you very much. So now I wanted to open it up again for folks in here who may be having another issue with their application, and you may not be able to get it to run. So I wanted to see if David was already ready to take a look at the splash screen issue, or I'm gonna bring up somebody else. I don't know. Danai, would you like to share your screen if you want to? Like if we can help you with the issue that you've been having with deploying your web application. I just wanted to see if you wanted to do that. If you don't feel comfortable sharing, that's totally fine. We can continue offline. Okay, I'll give you the floor, and then now we'll see the issue that you've been having in the deploying of your application. So deploying your application, you've been having issues with the configuration. So let's see it all in as a group. So let's all share your issue there so that we can solve it for you in real time. So you can share your screen or open up your mic if you want to.
Hello.
Hello. Great. Awesome. Yeah. So as you can see, she has her configuration. This is the application. She's been trying to build the application doing a Firebase deploy, but whenever we see the application, it doesn't show up. Like, so she's been doing the proper build. So can you go? Okay. So you already have the, okay. So you have the devcamp. That is a folder. Devcamp is the root. And can you run your application just so that we can see what we will be expecting after you build it? So for example, right at the devcamp, exactly, just do exactly flutter run -d Chrome. Exactly. Perfect. So let's see what we will be expecting. Even if it's just a simple application, that's totally fine. At least we just wanted to make sure to see what we have. And as we can see, you have the Firebase.json. You have the the root of your project is dk_dev_camp. That is the root of your project. You have the Firebase JSON, which has public web. Okay, I think I see what the problem is, but okay, so I think I see what the problem is. It may be the way in which the project was structured. Because you do have the DK devcamp, like no, actually it is at the root. Okay, that's fine. So we have the DK devcamp, then we have the okay, we have that, we have the web in. Okay, the build. Can you expand the build folder one more time? Yeah, while this is building. Okay, and then expand the web folder. Okay, and we should be able to see this exactly. Even if it's a blank screen, for example, even that should be able to show, right? Okay, no, there it is. No, that's not a blank screen. It's just this, the demo. Perfect. Okay, this is what we should be able to see there. Perfect. So you can close now. Yeah, perfect. That just works nicely. So if you expand the web, all these files should be good. Did you say that you installed the Node.js package and you may have like some sort of like light server in there? Let's see if you do. So in your command line, you see that you have devcamp. So cd into the build/web folder. Yeah, so do cd build/web. Perfect. And then you can do like a dir there just to make sure that we see the files in there. Perfect. Those are the files. Now, see if you have the HTTP server installed just one more time. If do HTTP-server. If you don't, then we can try another approach, but let's see this. So you see now, yeah, you can click on localhost 8080, and then you should be able to see, you could do like the bottom one, or even this one. I think it should pop up on your, like on a browser for you maybe. Can you see in the, exactly, like if you open up a browser and you go to 8080, and you just wait for a little bit to reload, it should load your application in just in a few seconds. Is it okay? It's 8080. Can you try? Can you try? Yeah, could you just hit reload or something in here just to make sure that we do get the proper thing. And then when you go back to the, yeah, you can minimize this or make it smaller. We see that it says the Flutter.js not found. Okay, you see there is even an important component in here that hasn't been generated, which is totally fine. So let's remove the whole build folder one more time. So go back to the, you can stop it. You can stop this. You can kill it by doing either Control C or I think you can kill it like that. Okay, perfect. Now go back to the root. You can CD a couple of times back. Yeah, you can definitely completely delete the, let me see, we're here. Yes, you can delete the whole folder. Perfect. Now let's go back to Visual Studio. Yes. Okay. You do run it as an administrator. I see. That's even better because it gives you the capabilities to run those commands from the command line. So that is a good choice. So we're back here. We see that everything is good. Now go back to the console. Perfect. And then here in the terminal, see there's no build folder. So when we build the application is where you should, yeah. So you should CD into that dev camp project. Perfect. Okay, now here do Flutter build web, but then you're gonna add these options. You're gonna say -- web renderer, and then we do canvas kit. So you're gonna do, I'm gonna type it in the command line, and then you can see it like that. After you do Flutter build web, you do web renderer. Is there a dash after web? I can't see it very well.
No, there is not.
Okay, so add a dash between web and renderer, exactly, and then say canvas kit. So we start with a canvas kit. Remember, you have two types of renderers that you can build your application on. So you can do HTML renderer or the canvas kit renderer. The canvas kit renderer will generate a larger package, and then yeah, after that, just say canvas kit. So let's take a look. So again, the canvas kit, it just generates a larger package, but it gives you better performance, like animations and stuff like that. So let's take a look. So after you do that, we should see a build folder being generated inside of the DK dev camp. After you do this, it may take a little bit. Perfect. There's the build. So it's generating. You see the Flutter.js now is available there. So maybe for you, I would then recommend always running the build web command with these options, whether the web renderer, and you say just HTML, or you say web renderer with canvas kit, depending on your case. If you want to make a web application that loads faster, then you do the HTML. If you have like a Flutter web application with a bunch of interactions, a lot of interactivity, and you want better performance, then you can do the canvas kit. But for now, because it's a simple app, you can build it as you can do either canvas kit or HTML, but try to always pass that option in your case for now, because I wanted to make sure that we always have the Flutter.js file. We see now that the Firebase JSON is looking at the build web, but I feel like what we're going to do, the only thing that we're going to do differently here is that I'm going to have you, after this finishes building, I'm going to have you actually, it shouldn't matter for the command line, because in the command line, the root of the project is the DK dev camp, and then that is the root of the project. Anything other that you have up there, that's again irrelevant. That's totally fine. So I just wanted to wait until this loads so that we can see. So is anybody else maybe has any questions around what we're doing right now? Are you getting stuck on anything? Okay, perfect. So now that you have this, let's open up the build. Now you see that you have like a few more files that are there, including the build.js. Let's do that exercise one more time. Let's go into CD into the build web folder in the terminal, and then let's run the HTTP server just so that we can see that your application can run on a local server. So once you're there, now do HTTP server. It will launch, it will launch like a tiny web server, and then you should serve your files from 8080. So now let's do it again. You can click on the second link, or access it from your browser. Yeah, you can do either localhost or yeah. So now you see things are a little better. There are not like red things showing up or anything. So this looks much better. Okay, perfect. So it looks more promising. You can actually deploy the application. Now close this. Now we don't need it. Now let's go back to the root of the project. So you see all these exercises that we're doing. You need to make sure that you do these before you deploy it. You want to test it locally and make sure that everything is good. So let's go back to the root of the DK dev camp folder. We can go to that one. Perfect. Just cd exactly a couple of times. Now, can you just again verify that the Firebase JSON is correct? It's actually pointing to the build web folder. So when you have the yes, Firebase JSON, there it is, and Firebase JSON is looking at the build. You see, can you collapse the build folder one more time? Just making sure that they are at the same level. So I see build, and then I see the Firebase JSON at the same level. So you should go to the build/web. Okay, perfect. Let's keep it like this. Do it one more time. Do the Firebase deploy. Just do Firebase deploy from here. So let's say Firebase deploy. Because if you do Firebase deploy, it will look at the Firebase JSON, and if the only configuration is hosting, it'll just take hosting by default. So we'll just wait until that happens. What this is doing is actually pushing the files over to Firebase Hosting, just grabbing all your files, pushing them up over there. You see, it says that he found 20 files, and he's doing the upload. So so far, everything is so good. And now let's see if your application is up there. And I think it is, because I just looked at it. So now can you click on the DK Dev Camp Web, that app, and you can click in there. Perfect. So now I think your issue was that you needed to specify a renderer. So now all you need to do is reload this one. Just hit reload, because at least here it shows that you are configured correctly, and there it is. So please, everybody, let's give a round of applause to Danai. Thank you so much for sharing your screen. And now we can see your web application. You can now go to town, build your application. Now everything is good for you. So I'm glad that you were able to share. And now that we were able to get you up and running on all fronts, locally and now on Firebase Hosting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Could you please explain how what was the issue exactly? What does
Yes,
the
I'll
camp
tell you.
do that
I'll tell
to?
you exactly. I'll tell you exactly the issue. When you specify Flutter build web, like it doesn't know precisely like what to do. Like, okay, how should I build this application? Like it doesn't know. Like I think maybe with the latest release, you kind of need to specify the specific web renderer. On Mac, I know for sure that I just do Flutter build web and it does it, and it just generates the files. But on Windows, it may be that the tooling requires that you provide the web renderer. Remember, we mentioned we have two web renderers, HTML and CanvasKit. Maybe by not providing a default, it kind of like doesn't know which one to generate. I'm on a Windows system, it may be different, like the tooling, of course, on a Windows machine. So you need to specify what the renderer is. In your case, all you need to do is just say Flutter build web, and then you specify which one, either the HTML or the CanvasKit. If you don't provide anything, it's kind of like torn between which one to render, and it just misses some files that it does. Maybe this is something that we should take up, as a bug to the team. The tooling, the team at Flutter, they should be able to look at this, because, for example, me as a Mac user, I just do Flutter build web. I don't have to specify anything. But in your case, on a Windows machine, you have to specify the type of renderer. Again, I just want to say thank you for sharing. Thank you for opening up your mic and your screen and allowing
Thank
us
you.
to share your issue. Now you don't have that issue anymore. Awesome. So go ahead and continue building on your web app. Great.
Thanks. Can I ask something else about the
Yes,
API?
please. Yes, go ahead.
So basically, like David's application was amazing, and it was very impressive. So I assume he already included some APIs in his application because it kind of retrieves some data. Is that correct?
That is correct. I provided this particular API for him. I think I shared it. I can show you right now. This is the API that I found in the. I'm going to share my screen now so you guys can see it. Just give me 1 second. But yes, that is correct. Like you can use public APIs available online that you can use for free. Some of them require like a subscription or something like an API key that you need to do. But in this particular case, this one is fully open and you don't have to do anything. This case is just one API that gives you like all the countries and all the information that you can pull from every country, like information about the confirmed cases and deaths and whatnot. I shared in the chat this specific link that you can pick on like a lot of public APIs that you can use for free. And for example, like I use this one for, I think this one for environment, and then I use I think it was this particular one for one application that I was building for like the air quality. This one required me to create like an account, but it was free. So you can go in there, see like if this is a community account, you can just go in there and take a look at the documentation, and it gives you like a bunch of all the endpoints that you can call so that you can get the information about like air quality. The one that he used, it was fully open. All you do is just hit that endpoint and you get this payload already. And then he was able to grab this information, parse it in Flutter, grab the information, just pull it and consume it just like that. So yes, you can use this the link that I just dropped in the chat, and yes, you can go ahead and use any of these public APIs to feed information to your Flutter Web App. Yeah.
So in theory, you can do some data mining from the web as well, right?
Yes, you can do that. You can definitely do that. Flutter Web is capable for doing really advanced like data crunching and data mining and anything that you want to do. So I encourage you to do so. And please stay on the Slack. Keep asking us questions. If you're going to take your application to the next level, we're going to be there to support you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just know that there's a column, say auth, the auth column. So some actually require you to log in, some is not, just because they open some open API that the one that I use, it doesn't require you to log in. You just call the API and it return data for you. But
exactly.
If it's something that require you to provide the authentication, maybe some token or some secret that you have to put in the API when you call.
Exactly. Yeah, that's totally correct. So you just look at the column. I also go for the ones that say no, so that you don't need like an API key. But if you do sometimes, like if you really need that specific API, yeah, it's some I think all of them are free. I'm pretty sure all of them are free. And then you can just create the API key, which actually even sometimes makes it more secure, because you know that nobody's tampering with that. You can save that API key when you obfuscate or you protect the Flutter Web application package. It can be encrypted in there, and then nobody tampers with that. So you can use an API key as an extra level of security sometimes.
But I think about the question about the codes earlier, I think this column it tells you that they're supporting cross origin. That means you don't have to worry about in your application that you implement it.
Oh, I see. Got it. So for the issue, for some of them that they support like course, some of them they say like course, yes or no, whatever. Yeah, it's true. So I was talking about the answer that I gave was like in general, like course in general. But if you have any issues with these, yes, of course, like it's on their end. Sometimes they should have it open if they want to make it public and everybody to access it. So great. Okay, thank you again. I'm gonna bring you back to listening, and I just wanted to open up to anybody else who's having any issues with your application. There he is, Jose sharing that he was also having that issue. So you see, it's pretty common, like having this type of issues, and then you can overcome it by making sure that you specify the type of renderer so that you can deploy it to the web. So now that we have a few folks, just wanted to see if David, are you good with the splash screen issue that you were having? So that maybe as a community, as a group, we can help you out again. Just wanted to see if you can, in the message, you can just say whether you want to share. Then I says, if you don't specify, it doesn't generate. Yes, exactly. That was the issue that you were having. The Flutter.js is actually the compiled framework plus your code. So that Flutter.js gives you like kind of like the pretty much like the Flutter core framework, and then the main dar.js is the one that contains your code, and then it just kind of builds it together. So you need to make sure to specify the renderer. In this case, again, for Windows, you need to specify it. Otherwise, it doesn't load the Flutter framework because you need to have it as a JavaScript compiled, optimized file. So yes, that is correct. You need to do that. Otherwise, then the Flutter.js, which is the core, it doesn't get generated for you. Great. Okay. So does anybody else have any questions? Anybody else wants to share? Just wanted to give anybody else an opportunity to, again, share the link of what you're building if you want to. Oh, David says that he needs to restore his machine. So you see, like now that we've already made a lot of progress on our applications, we've helped out a few folks with their applications. Again, please continue submitting your applications so that we can see what you've been doing, so that we can help you out if you're having any particular issues. But if you want, what we can do is we can wrap it up soon, like this session, and we can just go about our days. I can definitely now, we can do the raffle right now if you guys don't want anything else to share. That way, we can continue with our days, and you can continue building your web applications so that for the next session, again, we're going to be discussing more about preparing the application for final publishing. You're going to have we're going to be showing how to build the icons. We're going to be doing a little bit of state management. We're going to be wrapping up the splash screen issue so that everybody is aware of that. We're going to go through how to do that for everybody. Just wanted to make sure that open it up to you if you have any questions before we proceed with the raffle, and that we can just support you in any way we can. We have a couple of questions in the chat. Samina, you say, can you talk about Flutter Flow? I missed this discussion. Perfect. Let's do it again. So Flutter Flow, like I mentioned, is the current sponsor of this session. It's an amazing tool. It's a very cool tool. I can tell you, I do if you really want to learn the inner workings of Flutter, of course, you should start learning Flutter and coding all your application. But in the case that you want to do like a fast prototype of an application, Flutter Flow works very good for you. One, it gives you a web-based IDE. It's an interface that you can just do like drag and drop. You can very easily create an application. I do have a Flutter Flow account, so I'm just gonna sign in so I can show you. And Flutter Flow is again, you don't need to install anything. You can just log in with your current existing account. So I'm just going to log in with my account. You will see now me inside of my Flutter Flow application. You see a Flutter Flow, again, is more like for building fast prototypes, but you can use the code generated so that then you can build your application. You can export all the code that gets generated for you, and then you can use it for your definite application. So let me show you how that works. So for example, here you can say, what type of developer you are. I'm just gonna say I'm a freelancer, for example, and I'm a developer, right? And then I'm building an application for myself. Again, it's very easy. So I can, what else am I missing? Oh, I'm an expert, and then I say done. You see, now it welcomes you into, the whole, it welcomes you into the whole like Flutter Flow. You need to create an account in Flutter Flow just like I did, so that then you can qualify for either the 6-month premium or the 1-month premium. So make sure that you create your free account so that we can associate you with your premium account. Then now from here, what you can do is actually then create a new project. You can name your project. You can say, for example, Flutter Dev Camp, for example, like that. And then you can either use a blank application, or you can pick other existing templates in Flutter Flow. So I'm going to click on create new. And if you see there, I say create new, it already gives me like some information. I'm going to skip. But just like in the video they showed you, Flutter Flow is very WYSIWYG type of approach. You can just like delete components, drag components. You see, like I can grab like text, I can drag it over. You see that I can, here on the right-hand side, you can change the properties of the text. For example, here I can change hello, Flutter Dev Camp World. You see that you can make changes. You can add rows. You see, like, see now this is again very WYSIWYG, but you kind of need to also understand the inner workings of Flutter. It's not like you can just add a row or a column where a text is. You need to have either a column or a row, and then you can add all the other stuff. So you see, it corrected it for you. Like it added a column and then it added the row below. So it's again, Flutter Flow is good for rapid prototyping, but you kind of need to have a little bit of a like basic knowledge, at least on how Flutter works as far as like structuring your UI. So, and you see, you can add like an app bar, and of course, if you just grab like one of the icons in here, you can just drag it. You can drag the app bar. You can change the color of the app bar. You can make very cool things in Flutter Flow, and then from here, you can see, for example, if you're getting any issues, you can run like a prototype of the application, like in the browser. Like you see, it's kind of like a sample one, right? Like if you click, it's gonna like build. It says that it's gonna build like one application. You see, like it's gonna just show me like a preview, kind of like an emulator, right? So so that's exactly what you're gonna be getting like after I do this. So I encourage everybody to definitely take a look at Flutter Flow. If you really want to enter the raffle in the next session, you can definitely do that, and we can do you can do like really cool stuff with that. So I totally recommend everybody giving a look at Flutter Flow. It's just taking a little bit. It might be my connectivity, but let's just make sure you can definitely take a look at that.
Yeah,
Great.
Roman, can you show the code screen on side by side with the
Yes,
design?
I can do that. So here, for example, you can take a look at the code. You can just click in here. It gives you like the code that gets generated. So as you're building the application, you see that you get, for example, like the code that you can immediately grab. You can just copy it, and you can just grab it and do it. So for example, if you're having an issue like getting like one structure correctly, you can use Flutter Flow to assemble your structure, and very easily you can just do a copy paste of this. Here you see that you can also, again, for those of you who already know Firebase, you can definitely connect Firebase to this, and you can do like really cool things. Authentication, connect to databases, hosting. And here you can create like multiple pages, and you can build your structure. And once you're satisfied with, let's say, whatever you get here as an output, you can just copy, literally. You can copy this and bring it into your project, minus, a few tweaks that you need to do. But other than that, it should be very seamless for you.
It is a really good learning tool for somebody new to Flutter as well, because they can just do drag and drop. They can learn from looking at the code.
Very easily they can do that. Great. Any other questions around that before we proceed and do the raffle? Remember to continue submitting your applications so that we can do so that we can get you into the raffle. So we want to get everybody into the raffle. So make sure that you submit your web application. If you missed the previous sessions, it's okay, as long as you are here in this one and you join next week's. Next week's is going to be our final session. We're going to be wrapping up this series. We're going to give everybody who submitted a web application a certificate of completion, and you're going to enter the raffle for the Flutter Flow premium accounts, which I'm pretty sure is going to give you a lot of benefits of doing that. Great. Alexander has been dropping great messages in the chat. He's been sharing about like the way that he used like the splash screen and how to add animations and all of that. So please, you can take a look at some of the links that he's been providing in there, because again, we are a community. We want to give everybody a voice, and we want to share our findings among all of us. Okay. Great. So without further ado, okay, so I think we should be good for today. Now I'm going to perform the raffle. So we're going to do the wheel of names. And I just wanted to wish everybody luck. I wanted to see if, again, I have everybody who has attended today. So I have them in the list right now. I just wanted to say thank you, everybody. Again, let me open up my camera because I wanted to address everybody in there. Before you leave, we want to take one more picture as a whole. Linda, can you help me opening up everybody's mics so that we can get a picture with all of us? Alex, the recording will be provided later. Yes, we will be provided later. And Samina says we are deploying in Firebase, and you said it is free. It is always free for just this time. No, it is free forever. Firebase hosting is free forever unless until you exceed like certain quotas. But Firebase is free forever. You could also use like GitHub Pages, which is also free, and you can deploy this same web application whether in GitHub Pages, Firebase Hosting, or anywhere where you have a web server. Because as you saw, whatever Flutter Web generates is a web compatible set of assets that you can deploy in any web server.
Can you share your screen? I'm trying to make everyone to get on the stage.
Yes.
And should I stop recording? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me, what we're going to do then, we're going to handle the raffle separately. I just wanted to say then one more time, just for the recording, thank you very much, everybody, for joining this session. The next session, please make sure not to miss it, because we're going to have, again, more raffles. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff. We're going to wrap up the series, give everybody certificates of completion, and we're going to be doing a larger showcase. We're going to be showing everybody's creations and again, celebrating one another in this journey of the Flutter Flutter Dev Camp Web Edition 2022. So for the recording, thank you so much, everybody. See you on the next one. Make sure to tune in.